first step in making handmade soap is to prepare lye solution. So we need a digital scale with tare function. We also need two plastic microwavable or heat resistant containers. You can also use stainless steel bowls for this. One container is for the water and the other for sodium hydroxide. We need mixing tools like rubber spatula or old stainless steel spoon. We also need distilled water and sodium hydroxide or lye flakes or pearl form. Let's measure our sodium hydroxide and distilled water. First, make sure to wear protective gloves, face mask, or face shield. For this recipe, which is a small batch of 200 grams oil weight, we need 76 grams of distilled water and 29.28 grams of sodium hydroxide. Okay, let's first weigh distilled water. Turn on your digital scale and it should be in grams mode. Place your container on the scale, tare the scale to zero, and weigh 76 grams of water. Set this aside. Next is to weigh sodium hydroxide. Now we can round off the weight to 29 grams. Okay, so place your container on the scale and tare the scale. So we need to be very careful when doing this. Sodium hydroxide has a pH of 14, is very caustic and can burn your skin. Now slowly weigh your sodium hydroxide until you get 29 grams. If you go over, well, just remove some of it. Just make sure that you get exactly 29 grams of sodium hydroxide. Now we're ready to make the lye solution. Get your sodium hydroxide and water. Now add your sodium hydroxide to the water and not the other way around. Carefully pour the sodium hydroxide to your container of water. Do this carefully and slowly. Once all the lye is added, mix this to dissolve. This will heat up to about 95 degrees Celsius, so be very careful. You will also notice some fumes. So do not breathe in the fumes, and better to do this in a well ventilated area. Continue mixing until all the sodium hydroxide is dissolved. Now you will also notice that the water becomes cloudy as the lye gets dissolved. Now check if there are no more bits of lye, if there are no more solid bits in the container, and the water is getting slightly clear, then we can now set this aside in a safe place away from pets and children. And we need to wait and let this cool down to room temperature before we can mix this to our oils. We are now done making the lye solution.